Being a man isn't hard. And I get it. We've had our fair share of trans men come on this app alone speaking on the challenges of manhood, about how lonely it is, how difficult it is to establish meaningful relationships, connections, friendships, and so on. And how you as a man have to establish your value in certain settings as a means to just gain basic respect. In fact, we had a trans man not too long ago come on the app crying about the challenges of manhood. And a lot of cisgendered men were like, yeah, we tried to tell y'all that this is what it was going to be like. Welcome to the club. But guess what? You're going to have to suck it up because no one's going to give a shit. No one's going to give a shit about your tears. And see, this is where I got to push back against this nonsensical narrative. And no, this isn't to invalidate your individual struggles as a man, the things that you have to face and so on. But rather, this collective idea that by default, being a man is just so hard, when a lot of the issues that men face on the day-to-day basis are things that men can, in fact, collectively resolve. Collectively, together, we can resolve a lot of the issues that men face. This idea that men cannot express themselves, or you got to get it out of the mud, or you have to subject yourself to violence as a means to gain respect. Now, granted, there are certain things that we cannot help when it comes to being a man. You cannot help the environment in which you were raised. You cannot help the parents who raised you. You cannot help certain circumstances that were completely outside of your control. But what you can help is when you finally become a grown-ass man, you can take responsibility of your own life and do the internal and at times the external work to better yourself as a human being, whether you be a man or not. And that's the message that I want to send to other men out there. That your life is not hard because you are a man. Your life is hard because of certain decisions that you've made in your life, and these are simply the results of that. Yes, I've had plenty of hard days and hard years. I've dealt with homelessness. I've dealt with being dead fucking broke. I've dealt with people not respecting me. I've dealt with that shit. And it ain't got nothing to do with just the default position of being a man. It has to deal with where I have fallen short in certain aspects in my life, as to why certain people didn't respect me, or as to why I was found in certain situations living out of my car, or why two of my businesses failed, and so on. None of that has anything to do with being a man. That's just living. And I'm going to leave you guys on this final point where it's a Red Pill podcaster named Mediocre Tutorials and Reviews. I used to watch him a bit more actively back in the day, but I've kind of slowed down on that since splitting from Red Pill ideology. But he said that as men, we are not victims to our circumstance. We're not. A lot of the things that you as a man may be facing has to do with your decisions, and you are not victim to that. This was your choice. And so it's your choice from that point on how you want to build yourself up. Start reaching out to people and having better relationships and connections. Start finding women who actually give a fuck about you. Things of that nature. And this isn't to say that men cannot be victims. You very well can. There are going to be things that happen to you that are outside of your control. That's not what I'm speaking on. What I am speaking on is the things that are well within men's control. And so it is our responsibility as a collective to come together and start deconstructing, dismantling this system that you feel may benefit you, but it actually doesn't. And so at this point I'm rambling, but nonetheless, Being a man isn't hard.